Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here today working on Dungeons and Patterns. It's a role-playing game originally played live, but we're trying to move it to online. And we're using Elm for the language just so I can learn Elm a little better. And I think it's a decent choice. So let's see. First off, I'm not going to be here next week. So September 17th and 19th, next Friday and Sunday, I'm out doing a music week for me. So I'll be back a week later. All right, so what we're after today, we've got something that can kind of navigate through the rooms. We don't have the full map in there, we just have 3 rooms. But I want to make it so that there's some navigation buttons that show you the rooms you've been to and the rooms you can go to. And if you've been to the room, I'd like to display a little thumbnail picture of what's in the room. And if you haven't been to the room, I just want it to be like a question mark. We just started introducing the notion of visiting. So keeping track of which rooms have been visited or not. And I think we need to get that done with a current text navigation, then add the thumbnails. And I don't know, I think there's some stuff, stuff we can clean up. I'm sure an Elm expert would already be kind of wishing I were doing something a little better, but there you go. All right. So let's go over to, well, we don't have an IDE. I had been using Atom, which has some Elm support, but there's something wrong and it's generating error messages constantly. So I just got too tired of that. Right now I'm just using TextMate, another sort of somewhat language aware text editor, but I don't have a bundle for Elm specifically. Are you awake? Okay. I gather, I haven't looked. I did a search enough to say, oh, it looks like there is an Elm bundle, but I didn't install it, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just use it as kind of a bare text editor for now. Let's run things. So I've got 2 pieces running already. One is we have our tests are running under a watch kind of thing. So whenever we save our files, the tests will rerun. Okay. And that's good for us. The other one I've got Elm Reactor running, which basically provides the web service if I go to localhost 8000. All right. And that's where we are. Let's go to source and main.elm. Okay, so we haven't done any styling yet to speak of. Well, I did enough to center the picture, but that's about it. At some point, I want the text to the left or right of the picture and so on. And then I have this minimal navigation. So I'm in room 1. If I click room 2, we go to room 2. And the only one we can get to from there is room 1 again. Or I can go to room 3. A little slow for no reason at all. And then I can go back to room 1. I'd like these to be little thumbnail pictures, like a little navigation section. And with this, so I'd expect room 2 to have this little elf or whatever it is asking about gold. And, this picture should be that little button box with a button on top. All right. And the code. Let's get in there. Okay, so Elm, main.elm. All right. We've got a pretty minimal setup to start with. We're using this browser sandbox, so we can tell it, here's my initial model. This function returns a model. Here's how I want to update the model. If I have a message and a model, here's the new model. So right now our only message is go to room name. Okay. But we have update message to model, goes to model, and it's covering the one case. So if you say go to room, then we create a new state that is the current room is the new room, and we keep track of the fact that we visited the new room. So we add that to the model. The model has a visited area. Okay. And, that's as far as we've gotten on that. And then finally, there's a view function. View says, if I tell you what the model is, how do you display it? So model goes to, the HTML and the message. So how do you display it and what messages you're going to give back? All right. So in our case, we build up the list of buttons. These are really navigation buttons, but that's the room 1, room 2 at the bottom there. And then we display the images for the current room. Okay. This, I'm not quite sure what we did there. If we incorporated the default, I guess we incorporated the default into our model now. So this is redundant. Okay. And I'll save, and the test should run. Okay, yeah, no problem. All right. Now, all right, so I think we left off on this visitation stuff. All right, so when you go to a new room, we build a state. Let's see what our state looks like. Well, that's in here. I may as well get dungeon while we're doing this. Okay, so state is pretty simple. It just says we're keeping track of what room you're currently in, and the visited is the set of rooms you've been in, including the current room. And if we go back to initialization, you can see we start in room 1, and the only room we visited so far is room 1. And here's our dungeon. Room 1 has this image, this description, and these targets, rooms you can go to next. Okay, so dungeon's kind of the most complicated thing at this point. It's basically saying for each room, I know its image, I know its description, I know its exits. All right, and then we have this default room. Okay, let's see. Let's get some tests up here. Let's try state test. Well, state knows the current room. We've gone a little further than that. Let's see what other tests we have. I guess I'll get all the tests up. All right. So we got a suite here. This one, going to a room changes the room that you're in. Okay, that's kind of something we expect. All right, let's get the state. Put the test next door. I don't know if I have a split area. Oh, that's kind of disappointing. Okay, I don't know. It looks like maybe I could open a new window, but all right, we'll go this way. All right, so we got state test, describe state. All right, so that's one test. Let's add a new test. The state knows which rooms it's visited. And we'll pipe that into this lambda. This actually should include current. I don't know how to express that constraint, but if you are in a room, then you've been in a room. Okay, so we need to make sure that we keep track of that. Okay, And then, I don't know, I suspect there's a way to do this better in the Elm test framework. All right. If we ask for the visited, then we expect it to equal, I guess we expect it to equal the list current. And I'm gonna add another one, previous. And this really has to be a set too. Okay, so if you have a state, if your current state is, I'm in the current room, I've been in current and previous, I ask for what's been visited, you really should tell me it's current and previous. Okay, we'll run this. There we go. Okay, I was expecting to see a closing parenthesis. Oh, that is correct. Expect equal. Oh, does set not? Let's find some documentation. Okay, this should be in core. Set. Empty and search. No equals comparison. That's kind of annoying. Values can be any comparable type. Int, float, time, or string. You would think if they're comparable, that we would be able to do this. Let's see if we can look at this comparable stuff. Character strings and lists and tuples. Oh, well, that's annoying. Okay. Oops, sorry. Let's see. So I got visited, and I think, let's see this thing. Okay, x to f is the same as f of x. All right, let's find map. Well, okay, I got invited. I want to take it to a list. I'm trying to get to a type that I can compare. Okay, so if I pipe that into list, and I'll do this. Cannot find a list variant. Well, hate to be stymied by something like this. All right, so this thing gives me a set. Does set contain a to list, maybe? To list, yeah. Okay, let's try that. Oh, I think maybe I get list for free. All right, well, harder than it has to be, but, and let's swap these. I don't think it's, I probably should alphabetize it, but okay. Let's see if lists. Oh, to lists sorted from low to high. Okay, so we get to assume that at least is okay. All right, so we've got the fact that we've got these kind of accessors. They're a little boring. I don't know if I should have been testing them or not. Let's save this. Okay, so get status. We'll add these. And push. All right. I feel like I'm usually when I go from Sundays to Fridays, I have to recover a lot of context, and for some reason today is much the same. Okay, let's go back to main. We can see something going on here. It's really this update, and I think we tested this. Yeah, so update, we made sure update really does add the new room in. If you're in room 1 with that and you're visited, you say go to room 2. At the end, I expect that you are in room 1, you're in room 2 and you've visited it. All right. Now, have we done enough to display it? Again, I'm going to put the test next door. Okay, and let's just put this on the back here. Okay. Right. So what we've done, yeah, okay. Almost there. We added something for navigation buttons, and we're saying if you're asked to the text for the button given this model and the room name we're in, okay, what will you use? I guess it's the room name. The room name you want to go to. Okay, if you want to go to this room name and you're in the current model, whatever your model is, what text do you put on that button? Okay, and I don't want to be text in the long run, but I'm that's where I am now. So I'd like it to become the text unknown if it's not a room you haven't visited yet. And I think what I want to do then is I'm going to test this function in my main test, and I'm going to switch it around. So if you've visited the room, if the model says you've visited already, then yes, put the room name. If you haven't, I want to say unknown. Okay. And, this is getting to be logic. So, I don't know, is that model a logic? In other words, state? I think it kind of is. Yeah, maybe so. Well, let's put it there. Okay, so what I'm saying is, given all right, so what I want to test is, let's see, you're saying what room should I display if I'm asking to go to this room. Okay. So I think what this is a known room returns its name. Okay. And so in this case, lambda, if you take a state, well, let's see. Yeah, if you take a state, you're in current, and your from list is, let's say previous, well, let's just say current and next. Okay. All right, so if I'm in the current room and I've been to the next room, well, let's call it previous, I guess, just to be a little more clear. All right, if I'm in the current room and I want to go back to the previous room, let's see. So if I say, is it visit? Is it name? Something about name. Yeah, so what is this function called? What did I call it there? Navigation something tech? Some navigation button name? I don't know. I want to say apparent room name or known room name for previous. I think I can say expect equal state. I'm still in current. I don't even want, no, I just want the room name. So if you ask to go to previous and we know previous, we should tell you previous. All right, that gets somewhere. Okay, so so known room. It should take a model, well, a state, and a room name, and tell us a room name. And known room state room name equals, okay. And just to kind of make sure we get a failing test, make sure everything's building. Cannot find known room name variable. Known room. Supposing dot. These names seem close. Oh, I dropped name. I think I'll drop name here. Cannot handle the arguments. Known room. Well, this is one of these argument things. So this pipe thing sends the argument as an argument of the function, but it's already got previous. There is a way to do this. Basics. I don't know if it's more confusing than not. Sometimes it tells you you got the wrong argument order. And that may be the answer. Okay, saying f bang x. Okay, we're piping this one. Well, let's change. Oh, sorry. Let's change the order. Okay, so I'm going to say room name goes to state to room name. Let's see how we do. Okay, running that. We expect junk to equal previous. Okay, so let's just return room name. That's sort of an easy way out. Let me get this. $14. Room name equals room name. This room name value is a state. Ooh. Should pass. Okay. So, okay, that seems fine. Now, if I want to how about a already visited room returns its name. Not visited room returns unknown. Okay, so if we take state, current, set, let's go to a new next. So if we're in current, and that's the only room we've been in, and you ask it for the known room next, it should return unknown. Okay, that's the behavior I want. Expect dot equal, and should fail. Right. Okay. Let's go back to the function. Okay. Well, this can't be right. So, if well, I want to do if state.visited contains room name, then return it. Otherwise, return unknown. Okay, so let's see. So if well, I guess I gotta look at set and see what its test is called. Member. Okay, so member is comparable to set to Boolean. All right. If it's a member, and this is state, well, dot visited of state. Okay. And the thing we want to test in it is room name. Okay. So if the room name is a member of the visited from state, then we're going to return room name. And then else we're going to return unknown. And I don't know if that's, yeah. Syntax. Yay. All right. Let's run. Okay. So far, well, we're not doing anything with that function. I'd like it to show up in here. I'd like those to both be, now I'd like it to be room 2 unknown. All right, so let's incorporate that. That's in the main. Okay, so right now we're calling navigation button name. I'm going to call instead, well, I want this new thing. I want the known room. So known room of room name and model, okay, should give me a name to put in the button. All right, save that, reload this. Unknown, promising. Unknown, back to room 1, we know room 1. Unknown here goes to room 3. And it knows room 1, okay, and now everything's filled in. All right, that's a good place. Okay, let's refactor a little. Okay, that's no longer used. What else we got here? This is old. Oops. Trying to get rid of anything that looks like useless comments. Okay. This, I think, was an early attempt to get the styling in. Model equals state. Okay. That was somebody's example. Helped us get started. Okay. Now, all right, let's save this. This with style is used down here. Maybe I can move it down there. We don't have an auto refresh on the browser, but we got it now. We'll do it. All right, I think I can move this down. It really is a HTML oriented thing down here, and I'm hoping we can get by with a forward reference. Okay. All right, and I like having just this minimum stuff up here. The main, the model, the dungeon, the message, the update, the view. Okay, that seems pretty good. All right, now let's take a look at some of these others. Well, that's okay. And this is a little bit arbitrary. The dungeon, default room, unknown image. Okay. Room name in a room goes the dungeon. Do we return room name in our function? Yes. Okay. All right, let's save. Oh, is there a save all? Option Command S. All right. Quick check. Cool. And let's push. All right. We usually take a break around now, so let's do that. So just 2, maybe 3 minutes, and we'll come back and move this towards navigation buttons with little pictures on them instead. So I will see you in a couple. Welcome back. All right. So we're going to try and move things from the text domain to an image domain. And what we're looking at so far here is basically this block text. And I want to do a little spike. And I think I'll just put a button in and see how it goes. All right, so if I say button, I don't want to bother with a click, but I'm going to say image. And class main image, I guess I just want to say source. Image. Normally these things take 2 blocks. Okay, source something. And then an empty block. And that. Okay, and my source. I've got, let's see here. These are the images I have as of right now. So Let's take one we haven't got. Let's take keyholes. Well, birds is cuter. 1jbirds.gif. No, keyholes I can't mix up. 1g keyholes.gif. Okay. 1g capital K keyholes. All right, so what I'm hoping is this puts a button there with that stuff in it. Whoops. Save. Run. Okay. Well, it's kind of doing that. It is making a button out of this. You can click and see, and it's taking that picture. Okay, so let's see what you got to do to make an image do its thing. Modules, that's core. Can't get back to the main. Come on. No. Huh. Packages. Okay, HTML. And this is that one. We're looking for image. Image takes a list of attributes and messages. All right, I guess I'm looking for attributes. I want to force this thing down to a square size. I'm one to assume my images are square. Attribute, style, property, class. I'm pretty sure there's width and height somewhere. Ping. I don't need maps. Well, I guess I could do this old. Style width 100%, height 90 pixels. Yeah, let's try like style, height. Let's try something on this order. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe I should. Let's do it in the CSS. Let's do class. Nav button. And source this. Class manager source that. So it's very similar. I guess we'll open the one file we haven't touched today. All right, so nav button. I want to do width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels. Okay, let's see what we got. Forced to reload. Okay. That's tolerable. I'm imagining a few of these in a row. All right, let's see main. Now here we make a list of them. Okay. Um. Well, I think we can take this. We're close. In button brackets inside here, image. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate this row. And in here, we're going to put the image stuff. Now I have to do some digging around to get to it. But let's start somewhere. Okay. So image class, if we do this, I expect to get a row of buttons. Yeah, I expect to get a row of buttons, one for each. They all should be keyholes because I haven't looked them up yet. Okay, so let's save that. Run. Okay. And the first one should take us to the elf, and good. And the clerk. Okay. Now we need to incorporate this. All right. And this is more complicated. And this part gives us the name of the room. And I would like to look it up. Okay, so if I have the name of the room, nope. All right. If I do this, it's going to say the source is unknown, or 1A proxy, or whatever the room name is. But I want the unknown room to be in there. Goodness, I mean, I think maybe what I want to do is create an actual unknown room. Unknown. And it's room images / unknown unknown.gif. And this is unknown room. We never expect to do that. And the exits are none, because we never expect to go into an actual unknown room. I don't know. It's a little odd, and maybe that's okay. All right, but if I do this source name, I'm going to get the name unknown. But I really want to do is run it through Dungeon, and get it. Okay, and the way I do that is dungeon.image of the name and the dungeon. Okay, so this goes to dungeon.image of the name and the dungeon. Okay, I'll save and reload. Dum-da-dum. Okay. Well, the reason is it's expecting unknown. It's expecting unknown, and it doesn't have it. All right, and that's because I have it. It wasn't part of the original deal. So I have it. Let me find it. I'll just open a new window just to be safe. And my desktop, I think I have lock question. Okay, let me put these in here. Lock and question. So I just made these up the other day and scanned them. All right, and what I'm going to do is let's copy this one. Okay. I'll duplicate this one. Okay, and I'm going to call this unknown. And I'm going to drop it into GIMP. Okay, let's make a picture based on this. And I think I want it square. We'll just start, see where we get. Okay. All right, does that seem centered? Yeah, close. Oh, they changed all these icons a bit and it's still throwing me off. Move layers selections. Well, that didn't help. Let's go back to this way. 154 megabits. Okay. let's what can we do? Let me do it somewhat like this. I'll nudge it up a scoosh. Okay. The width feels about right. That TIFF is a huge image. Okay, that seems a little better. We'll copy, we'll paste. I'm going to do some scaling on this. right, so I guess a filter. Oh no, maybe tools. Colors. Levels. Nope. Posterize, I guess. I don't think I can. Can I go down to 2? Okay, yeah. Okay, and then if I take the image, I'm going to scale it down. I don't know what's a good scale, but 1200 maybe. $1,200 by 1,200. Get the size down to something plausible. 63 megabytes. Let's see what it goes to. 49. Okay. Can we reduce it? Let's do an export. I'll just put it as unknown.gif. Couldn't simply reduce colors further, exporting as opaque. Well, that sounds good. Okay, let's hide this. Okay. Copy that file to here. And we'll put it in there. Okay, and let's reload. There we go. Now I don't know why that little gray border there, kind of annoying. But that is what I'm really kind of wanting. Now I in the longer run, I want to do some actual thumbnails rather than squeak the whole thing down like that. Okay. Well, that's a good thing. The name unknown's a little bit arbitrary, but I don't know that it's unreasonable to say there's an unknown room. Okay, with no exits. You never want to get there, and we're not really going there, so that's okay. We're going to room name. All right. Now this is a little bit opaque, maybe. Can I push this in? Okay, I guess it's my question. If you asked me if you asked me for the image, right. What if you ask me, oh, this is dungeon image. I mean, I could see a navigation image. Given a dungeon. Well, we'll stay where we are, I guess. Okay. So, what am I feeling? Well, I like this, that you navigate with these unknown buttons and stuff. Maybe I could put a little section that says navigation. I think that might be all right. I'd like these centered. I wouldn't mind a little space between them, come to that. Oh, sorry, I keep doing that. Too many windows. So, let's see. How we're going to... I guess the style sheet, I'm doing something not right in there. That's also known as wrong. So I've got navigation, and I'm saying margin left, margin right. I don't think the display block matters, although I'm willing to try it. And I'm far from a CSS guru, so any suggestions welcome. Of course, centering is just such a pain in HTML and CSS. Like, I don't know why it has to be, but... and there used to be like these little centered attributes and stuff, and now we do it this way. That's progress, we say. All right. Let's see. So if I do a save and I reload, hard reload. Okay. Well, that didn't do it. So do I have this in a navigation block? First question. Concatenate. Yes. My div says class navigation. Navigation spelled correctly. Dot navigation. That. Now my nav buttons did okay, so they picked up their stuff. But that whole div, well, can I put in text? Can I do H2? Navigation. I don't know, that's not the best word. Okay, H2 is probably not a real tag. HTML. No? Oh, it takes attributes in HTMLs. Okay. I don't think I need any of that. This is text navigation. Okay. Fonts leave a little to be desired, but that's something. Now, why can't I get this centered? Ugh. What would tell me? Well, no. if I go to main, I don't know if I actually examine the source, what do I see? Yeah, I see a lot of transliterated stuff, and it's all done through JavaScript. Why? Okay, let's let's fall back on fixing the CSS. CSS center a row of buttons. I'm sure someone has run into this problem before. How to center a button in a div element. You can also use Flexbox. Let's try this. I'm not sure if this goes on the button or the div. Okay. Do a force reload. Something should be green. Okay, well, that's kind of what I want. I mean, I don't think I need the border. Yeah. Navigation. I don't know, a better word. Explore? Doors? Maybe doors. Right. Let's get back to main. Closed main. Well, that might look better if it were centered as well. All right. The other thing is I don't think 50% is the right ratio here of 1/3. Let's go up to 60 and see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's better. It's a little big. But I think that's a consequence of how I've got the files, the pictures. I can certainly shrink the ones to, kind of make people look the same size. Okay. Yeah, so, well, the next aspect of this thing, we've got a to-do list. Let's use it. Here we are. Okay, so today's number 4. Navigation button. Okay, should look at visited to decide name. Show picture button for visited rooms, question marks for unvisited rooms. That's what we've done. All right, show locks for secret doors. Answer what's the pattern. Dialogues, activities for pattern puzzles. Okay, so the next notion, well, okay, let's pause a second. Okay, the next notion I'm thinking about is I expect to see, like, at some point each of these corresponds to a pattern, and you're supposed to name the pattern. And once you do, the secret doors unlock and stuff like that. So right now we don't distinguish secret from visited. We do need that concept, but answering the pattern is kind of a bigger deal to me. So I'm going to move this story up. Okay. And then we'll deal with that one later. Dialogue and activities. This is for more complex puzzles. So, well, actually, most of them are going to have this idea. So, I don't know if you've ever played one of these games where you can interact with non-player characters and you got a little bit of dialogue box and you choose a dialogue and they answer you or whatever. I'm after that sort of thing. So the flow is you come in, you see the room and its description. You've got a little dialogue area where you can ask questions or do things. And then when you think you know the pattern, you guess it. And when you guess right, it unlocks the secret door. You get a key or whatever token. And yeah, I think we're good from there. I mean, that'll get us pretty far. All right, so I think the next thing is kind of answering what's the pattern. All right, so I'm going to save everything. Tests are fine. Let's reload this. And I got to choose a better font. That just looks... Okay. Doors. Yeah, I think this again is good enough to push. So, get status. All right, and so what we've done, display thumbnail for doors. Thumbnails for doors. All right. And I think that's good. Those TIFFs are kind of ridiculous size. I don't know. Probably should have cleaned them up a bit. But anyway, that's a good place to be. Okay, so my notion is just like there's a door section, I'm going to put a little guess the pattern kind of section. Let's start with that. Okay, so kind of like this. This thing wakes up slowly. Probably my machine. I can hear the fans going crazy. Oh, I'm not doing what I think I'm doing. Okay. So triple click maybe is not the right choice. I don't know. Sometimes some systems, nope. You can hit Control C if you're just at a text point like that, and it'll do do it for you, but all right. Guess the pattern. Okay. And then I need a pattern section. All right. And let's see. So the design, I guess I'm thinking, I don't know. There's, I don't know, what are there, 23 patterns in the design patterns book. A drop down is a little bit funny. Not ideal, but maybe that's the way to go for now. So what I'm thinking is a drop down that says, you know, I think the pattern is, and then the drop down, and then once, if you get it right, something should happen. Like it should be a good thing, but then you also kind of need to explain it. And I'm not sure what form that's going to take, but I think it's going to be like, here's an element, and maybe there's some possibilities. And I don't think this stuff shows up until you guess the pattern right. Okay, so we need something to let you choose a pattern, and when it's right, we display something and ask you some more questions. And if you answer them right, maybe you get something else. I don't know. We'll see. But this is about break time again. So let's take a pause, just 2 or 3 minutes. We'll take a break and then come back and tackle this notion of the pattern name. All right, see you in a couple. Welcome back. All right, so we're going to put this new section in. I guess if I reload. Did I not save? I did not. I guess that was intended to be after the get, right? Okay. I don't know, guess is maybe what's. Okay. And now in here, we want a drop down. I'm trying to understand what's going to be the new pieces here. I think there's something that's got to tie the room to a pattern. So I think we need to somehow list the name of the pattern as part of what this is. But the interaction is separate. I guess we're not worrying about that. All right, so if we knew the name corresponding to a given room, and then we had some other structure that represented those patterns, yeah, I think we want to do that. Okay. I don't know how complicated I'm making things here. Well, somewhere I need the list of patterns. All right. I mean, that's somewhat clear to me. I'm going to start with an array, just a simple type. And the first one is probably prototype. And the second one I'm guessing is proxy. And the hotel, I don't remember what that is. Well, it should be in here. Oh, it's in the document. Let's try this one. It could be observer. Let's just run with that while that tries to open. Okay, an observer. All right, and if nothing else, the list of drop-downs has got to correspond to that. Okay, so and maybe this should be alphabetized. Observer, prototype, and proxy. Alrighty. So in here, well, again, I'm going to find some documentation. HTML. I don't know what we call these drop downs. Selector. Okay, it's attributes and a list of somethings, which I guess is going to be text. So let's just try it. And again, kind of this is a little bit in the way of a spike. So I'm going to say select. I don't know what these attributes are. And I hope I can say option. Okay, let's see how that does. Okay, well, let's try. Apparently it's more work than I'm expecting. All right, let's see what we got. Pure. Oh, already I can see it's more than I wanted it to be. So main text, context selected item, maybe with default text. Display style. Context is open. Well, I sure expected to see a select in there. Style drop down input. No, that was truly more than I expected. What's this? Well, okay, yeah, that was an observer. Oh, again, this is more than I want to go through. This sounds like what I want. I want to render a dropdown and avoid strings. Select with a bunch of options. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I had in mind. On-click doesn't work with options. You need to capture the change event and look at the JSON target. Ugh. I need a JSON to go. Jeez. Goodness. Well, I'm willing to live with strings. Ugh. Okay. View option, role. So that's the type he had. Well, I don't disagree. It's probably the right thing to be doing, but it's just more work. On change. Option value and text. Well, let's try that. So select has an on change. We'll skip that for the moment. We'll put some view options, which are just option value text. All right. So this is Option, value option, text, value option, text. Okay. I guess I'm glad I paused. Okay. That's progress. All right. So I guess what happens is I get my on change and it probably takes the value as its thing. Okay, on change. Let's see what the attributes say for that. It's not a thing. Oh, on. Well, where did that come from then? It runs select on target value roll decoder. On change, and it calls something, calls this, or gives this function. What is select roll? That's my message. Okay, so I need to turn this into a message. On change, I guess we're going to produce a message. So I'm going to make a message that is guess pattern. And let's just start with that. On change. So I'm assuming it's supposed to take the option value and turn it into an action. But where does it get that? Target value roll decoder takes target value. I don't know. That must be the input. All right, let's see what happens. I think we should get a complaint about our case statement, if nothing else. Select. I cannot find an on variable. In brackets. On change guess pattern. I don't know. Maybe we can get the same complaint here. I cannot find an on variable. Oh, I could import html.attributes, right? It's on html.attributes. I don't know where this person gets on. Here's HTML attributes. Well, we didn't find it in here. On input will work for most browsers. Maybe that's the new version of this. There's going to be a lot of ons. Well, let's try on input. Input. No. Maybe that's action? I don't know. Doesn't really sound like it, does it? I don't want a URI, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything that sounds that promising. I think I wrapped. Okay. Back to the internet. All right, I'm not using LMUI. Maybe that's a mistake. I don't want filterable. I don't want this. No, it doesn't really say anything going on after you select it. And I'm not clear if it's really what it's really doing. On-click function. Let's translate. I don't think we saw anything that sounded like on-click. On-click. Well, we got on-click. I mean, it's a fancy solution, but it's not really the same. think that's really doing any better. Reusable drop down. If it has to be reusable, it means it's too hard. Not what I want. HTML events exposing on click. Okay, that sounds more promising. Div on click. I don't think they're using select though, are they? I think they're creating their own drop down. Well, I can import HTML events exposing on click. Oh, which I have. Okay. Can I get an example? Oh, there's on. Okay, but on click, wherever it got to. Message goes to attribute message. What message would that be? Well, let's just see what this is. All right, I still expect a complaint. A case statement that doesn't cover it. Okay, yes. So what happens if you do this case? The case is guess pattern. I'm just going to return model again. Okay, so I'm not making any judgments at this point. I'm just trying to get things hooked in. Whoops. Save. I don't expect the test to care. Okay. All right, well, that's something. Okay, I can't tell if it's doing anything, so that's probably not a good thing. But that gives us a place to start next time. So I think we can add a parameter here. I'm not quite sure, but we'll find some examples of on-click next time. All right, let me add that to the to-do. How does that interact with message? All right. So we will pick up there. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, or the top of the 2 hours. I'm not here next week, Friday or Sunday. So we'll be back. I think that's the 24th. Yeah, the 24th of September. So 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time again. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope I catch you in the future. Take care. Bye-bye.